Now, of course, one of the big things going on in the world of movies and blockbuster stuff like that is James Gunn, Peter Safran have taken over DC Films, and they're getting ready to launch a new era of DC. Because the previous one, hey, listen, I liked every single previous DC movie except one, and that was The Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Wasn't a big fan of the Birds of Prey movie, but I liked every single other one. But it wasn't working. The previous DC era did not work. And we could have a discussion all day about why that is and why it didn't perform up to its potential. We could have a million discussions and debates, but fact is it didn't. So they're now coming in and they're going to launch this new era in 2025 with Superman Legacy. And we know James Gunn is personally writing and directing this film. And today he put out a statement letting us know it's officially now in pre-production. He put out this statement that said this. He said, I am honored to be a part of the legacy, talking about Superman, and what better day than Superman Anniversary Day to dive fully into early pre-production on Superman Legacy. Costumes, production design, and more are now up and running, and he did all that while teasing out the actual front page of his script for Superman Legacy. So it is now underway. It's happening. Crews and teams and staff are now assembled, and they are working on this movie now. Production design, costume design, other areas, all things getting ready for all the work that needs to be done before the cameras officially start rolling, because there is a mountain of work that needs to be done before cameras start rolling. And they are now full steam ahead, rolling on all this. That to me is what I call the tangibilization. Like Superman Legacy is now no longer this theoretical thing that could happen at some point. Now it's this real thing. It's actually happening. It's underway. And while that is exciting, it also made me stop and pause today to think about the importance of this film. And I don't want to overhype it because, listen, us in the online punditry space, we are often guilty of overhyping something, right? And making a bigger deal out of something than maybe it needs to be.
Like Toronto Maple Leafs.
Shut up. You shut your whore mouth.
This is my favorite game now.
So I really started thinking about Superman Legacy and the importance of this movie. And I don't think it's over-exaggerating it to say this movie might be the most important movie, not the best movie, not quality, none of that, but maybe the most important movie that maybe DC's ever put out. Because with the background of a DC cinematic universe that struggled, right? And now you bring in this new leadership. You say now, and we got new ownership that brings in new leadership. And we're saying it's going to be a brand new day. And you got this great name in James Gunn coming in, who's had a lot of success in the industry, all that kind of stuff. That's great. And you're going to kick things off again. And you're going to kick it off with the granddaddy of all superheroes, Superman. And it ain't going to be my beloved Henry, but all right, I've gotten over, I've dealt with that. All right. I've dealt with that. Got on with my friends at BetterHelp, and I've dealt with that. So it's not going to be Henry, fine. But listen, and I don't want to put undue pressure because I know James sometimes watches segments of our show, and I don't want to put undue pressure on James here. And everybody knows I am an unabashed James Gunn fanboy. I am. I make no apologies about it. But I do not think it is an exaggeration to say they need this movie to work. It has to. Because after all the drama, and I'm talking about long before James Gunn ever came around, with all the drama and nonsense and noise and quite frankly, the circus that the DC universe has been, even though I like most of it, and you're going to now make this big song and dance out of we're starting new, our own phase one, if you will. We're kicking things off with Superman. And the head of your studio is personally writing and directing that movie. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that if this thing tanks, and I don't mean doesn't make money, I mean tanks in the sense that it fails with the critics, it fails with the audience, and it fails at the box office. If it does those three things, I don't think the word cataclysmic is unwarranted here. It will be straight up awful for DC. And I think that is one of the big reasons James Gunn said, he pulled a Thanos, I'll do it myself. I think that is one of the big reasons James Gunn has said, you know what, I'll take care of, I'll lead it off. I'll start the dance. I'll write this first one. I'll direct this first one because they know that this damn well better work. And I say this as somebody who's very optimistic about it. I say this as somebody who's very excited about it. I am very pro DC. I'm very pro James Gunn. I'm very pro this Superman Legacy movie. I am. But make no mistake about it, you gotta nail it. Because if you don't, you're fucked. You're really screwed. Because there is an element of people out there who, beyond confusion because they don't have any joy in their lives and nothing to bring sunshine, they actually want this to fail. It's one thing to predict something's going to fail, but there's actually a segment of people out there who want this for their own agendas, but they want it to fail. I can't ever recall in my life ever wanting a movie to fail. And if you come out with Superman and you completely fudge it, you're not just robbing yourself of an explosive start to a new era for DC. You are giving an awful lot of ammunition to those who were your detractors. And you are giving an awful lot of negative momentum to a franchise that is already suffering with negative momentum. Black Adam failed. Shazam 2 failed. I quite frankly liked both of those movies. But they did what they did. They both failed, even though I liked them. So, hey, you got a script written? Awesome. Pre-production has started? Yay. But it just made me all the more aware that, oh my God, you better crush this, man. And again, no undue pressure, towards James Gunn, but you're kind of screwed if you don't nail this thing. And sky's the limit if you do nail it. I'm talking about all the negative ramifications here. I'm ignoring the positive one. Make no mistake. You come out of the gate, you fire on all cylinders with this, you deliver a top quality Superman movie. It doesn't have to be the greatest Superman movie of all time, but a high quality Superman movie, then you're off and running. You're off to the races. But they better damn well do it. Chris, you see that James Gunn has now announced he's showing us the script.
Well, he's showing us the title page.
The title page. It would be nice if he showed us the whole script.
Right.
The pre-production has started. When you look at that, does that feel like, everything's on schedule? It is coming out in 2025. Mm-hmm. This has to happen now. What are you feeling about the progress they're making? And listen, how important, or maybe not all that important, is just this one single movie, this Superman Legacy? How do you see it?
Honestly, it feels like this is moving ahead of schedule because I feel like we just started talking about James Gunn being the one who's going to pen this script. So it's phenomenal that he's rocking and rolling. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that have to come into play here, right? We're in very, very early pre-production. We just have that script. We're going to get into casting. We're going to probably do some rewrites. We're going to have, all of our technical folks involved too, because we have to find that great cinematographer who's going to work with James. We've got to find all those wonderful other puzzle pieces here. But I do think this is a real linchpin moment for the DCU. We've had a huge absence of Supes when it comes to the superhero films of DC. It's just felt looming. And it's been odd that he's not there. He's an integral part of this. And so I do think you really have to focus on him and make this film really, really solid. This is the foundation of the house they are building right now, is the way I'm viewing it. Yeah. Everything else, honestly, Batman Flashpoint, I hope you do well. I hope you're a great film, But this is really where everything's kicking off and starting, if we're just really being honest with ourselves. This is the new house that we're looking into. And if the foundation of that house is sloppy or poorly formed, nothing else is going to stand on that well. And frankly, I think too many people have been burned by DC recently that if they don't start off strong, they're going to just see their numbers continue to dwindle. So there's a lot of pressure on this film.
Yeah, they really can have a nice day, James. But no pressure, but all the pressure in the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? James Gunn is showing off the script. His pre-production is now up and rolling. The machine that is Superman Legacy is now up and running. What do you think about that? How big of a deal, how important is it that this film succeed? Maybe you feel like I'm over-exaggerating the importance of it, and maybe you're right. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, MasterClass. With MasterClass, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. You can learn filmmaking from James Cameron himself, you know, the guy who made 3 of the 4 biggest films of all time. Improve your writing by taking screenwriting from one of the greatest who's ever done it, Aaron Sorkin. Or maybe learn how to make great comedic content by taking comedy by the one and the only Judd Apatow. And many of you guys know I'm a big poker guy, and I recently got a chance to sit down and watch Daniel Negreanu, one of the greatest poker players in the world, teach poker. It was absolutely fantastic. But guys, whatever you're interested in, there is a class for you with over 180 exclusive classes taught by the instructors you know and love. And you can explore lessons in any order you'd like, across your phone, tablet, Apple TV, computer, and on the go with audio mode. Individual lessons range from about 10 to 15 minutes in length that fit easily into your everyday life. Guys, I highly recommend you check it out. Get unlimited access to every class, and as a John Campea Show listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/Campea now. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off Masterclass.